Good afternoon and welcome to the Grassroots Music Show here on Nova Radio Northeast. Myself, Stephen Ferrell. I am joined by two friends, Dinky Bossetti.
Yeah.
Would you like to introduce yourselves?
Hi, my name's Jade.
I am Chris.
Cool. It's fine. We want to start. I can't wear headphones. That's alright. We used to have a speaker. Sorry, if anybody listening, we used to have a speaker in the studio, so I never had to wear headphones, and now there's not one. I just can't wear headphones. So I'm just nobody else wearing headphones, so I'm not wearing headphones. So we're going to start, and I know you've been on the show with Dinky Bossetti before. Yeah. You've been on the show with Useless of Jade before. Yeah. But there may be loads of new people listening that have never heard of either. So let's start with an introduction and how it began. So.
Yeah, so we've been going as a band since 2021, but we didn't play any shows for the first year. So our old drummer, we recorded our debut EP with our old drummer, but they weren't in a place where they wanted to be playing live shows. So we thought, right, we'll do the EP and then see what happens. And then we had to find a drummer, and then that's how we found Chris. And the idea was to have, we ideally wanted it to keep it as an all trans band, because that's what we started out as. And then it was like, okay, if we, limiting ourselves quite a bit. So it's like, should we look for a trans drummer, look for a female drummer, non-binary, anybody under the rainbow? And we ended up with Chris, who's a straight boy.
Yeah, so you can't see me, this is radio, but yeah, I'm very white, very man. I popped along to a rehearsal to see if I was a good fit, and I had a great time, and it's kind of just been ever since then, really.
Yeah, it was, Chris's music Chris is in a band called Snow Leopards as well, who are pretty amazing, and I didn't expect Chris to like us, our sort of punks. We were friends before that. We've been friends for a few years, so it's good. It made it really easy to have like a friend in the band rather than just auditioning strangers, which I feel really weird about. And he's made us such a bad band. Like, I love our first EP, but I don't think it was recorded particularly great. We didn't know really what we were doing as a band, and Chris has just made us so much tighter, and we'll introduce like, how about we do hit this in the bridge and things like that, which has just been amazing.
So you've got, we are going to be playing some tracks from you as of yet unreleased EP on the show today, next week, which should be really good. Should we start with one?
Yeah, this is the opening track from the EP, and it's a song called What About You, and it's based on a real life experience that happened to me. I played a solo show at Mosaic Tap, gone out with a friend around the queer scene. She lived one end of town, I lived the other, so I was walking home, and these 5 guys just kind of accosted me, and it kind of rocked me a bit. There was no they weren't punching or anything, but it was very in my face and kind of screaming abuse, like a lot of which is quoted in the song. And I kind of just managed to get through it. It was about 4 a.m. I was alone. It was a pretty terrifying experience, and I went home, got into bed, and pretty much stayed there all weekend, and it rocked me more than I thought it would. And I kind of ordered my favourite food on Deliveroo, unagi, if anyone's listening and wants to send me food. And then on the Monday, me and Aria went and bought my new guitar, which was my beloved Telecaster, and then we recorded the EP 2 weeks later. But that song was the first song I wrote on my new guitar. And we recently put a video out on YouTube, so you can check that out. DIY video. It cost the extra £10 we paid in practice to be there. So yeah, it's called What About You.
And I just want to say, because this would be good for you that wants to it'll be different when you hear the actual version release, because there's all going to be radio edits.
Yes, we've done a lot better this time. So the last time we were on here, we could only play half the EP because they all had swears. But my mum, this one's more for my mum, so there's less swears. It's not really the case, but she'll be listening. And so we asked Martin, who is we'll get to Martin anyway later, but he did some radio edits for us. So there's only two swears on the entire
but not on anything we're going to play today.
No.
Fret not.
That'd be flipping awful.
So here we go. This is What About You?
your life, you're a disgrace. He was backed up by his friends, I was walking alone. Funny how these things happen when I'm on my own. I'm living my life to the full. What about you? I'm not harming a single soul. What about you? I don't feel the need to put people down to pick myself up. What about you? Saw the hate and the bile that they posted online. Keyboard warriors, the laptop screen that they had behind. Spewing lies and opinions on what they don't understand. Telling me I should just be like them and be a man. I'm living my life to the full. What about you? I'm not harming a single soul. What about you? I don't feel the need to put people down to pick myself up. What about you? Screaming patriarchal ideals in a world that was built for men. I refuse to bow my head to a single one of them. Don't take your insecurities out of my friends or on me. Deal with yours like I dealt with mine, and maybe then you'll say we're just like you. I'm living my life to the full. What about you? I'm not harming a single soul. What about you? I don't feel the need to put people down to pick myself up. What about you? What about you? What about you? What about you?
That is first track from the EP, and I guess now I want to talk a bit sort of about the EP, but also I guess because obviously last time you're on, you played stuff from your first EP, and I guess the different experience, you've done this a different way, and just how it's different. And
Yeah, it was still very similar. We recorded everything pretty much live, but we recorded our first one at First Avenue, and it was a good experience. David there had recorded Kaniki, that was enough for me. So, but I had recorded a song with, I think both, I don't know if you had at that point, we both recorded like solo songs with Harbour Master, Martin Francis Trollope, and
he works with many of the best bands.
He's amazing. He's
absolute gent.
He is, yeah. He just makes everything so chilled, and he doesn't get involved. He doesn't sort of tell, oh, like, do this, do that. He sort of like offer advice if you kind of ask it. He's just the nicest guy. I'm currently recording a solo album with him as well. He's super talented. He played a little bit of piano on the EP.
Yeah, some extra bits and bobs.
Yeah,
he's really good. He knows exactly what he's doing, and he picked up the vibe for what we wanted, and then because there's recording a song and then there's making it sound a particular way, and that's quite a subtle thing.
Yeah,
I wouldn't even be able to say exactly how that happens, but he kind of picked up that it wasn't raw enough, or it wasn't this or that, and he just moulded it, and he was really good.
Yeah, kind of like we spent, it was like 8 hours on it. It was 2 4-hour sessions.
2 sessions, yeah.
And the
still friends.
Still friends. Yeah. There was a moment where
it was over.
Yeah, I was like, oh, this is why bands break up, isn't it? But
creative differences.
Yeah, there was a solo aria I was playing, and it was the particular pedal was not a sound that.
Don't look at me. I stayed well.
This kind of bugged me. I was like, because obviously, like, since Chris joined the band, it's like, right, we're a 3-piece. It's not like just, I know I write songs and stuff like that, but it's like the 3 of us. I was like, okay, Chris, like, what do you think about it? He's like, oh, leave me out of it. Like, no, come on, help. So, I guess I won out, but like, but we came to a compromise and it really worked. I mean, Aria like what they used eventually, didn't they?
Yeah, but like, that's it. And there's all these things, because you can practice and practice and practice, and then you get there and you put it down and you suddenly go, oh wow, what do I play at that bit?
Yeah.
Is that what I've always done?
Yeah.
Is that even good? There was a bit in, I think, the next track we're going to play where I suddenly realised that one of my harmonies had been wrong for 2 years. and I just hadn't noticed. And I was like, you played that chord then? And it was quite subtle, but it would have annoyed me forever if we hadn't got it right. And I think this stuff only comes out of the woodwork when you're in that sort of pressure environment.
I think that's the thing, like, having wrote these songs as well, and you kind of hear them in your head a certain way, and you've got to be open in a band to like them sounding a bit different, and different people introducing different bits. But it's that solo, it was one of these things that it wasn't the solo, it was just the pedal, it was just the effect.
It was just the sound. You suddenly it triggered something
it's like,
in you.
It's like, you know, like I can't bear like the sound of babies like crying and stuff like that. And
don't compare it to that.
Like you know that pop noodle advert, or I guess noodle. I can't deal with like repetitive sounds and things like that.
Anyway,
so it's like,
it sounds great now,
but it is an awesome track.
So in terms of that, I think you see you record like all live and stuff like that as well.
Yeah.
Pretty much. So
how does it? Is it? I mean, I guess it's just how does that differ from being live with an audience? Does it feel different? Is it?
It feels different in terms of like, it always sounds really cliched when I hear bands say this, but you do get energy off the crowd, and I think it does make you play faster. And in the studio, you kind of like, okay, well, the song is this tempo, whereas you kind of speed up because you get excited and you're in the.
It's why you get that thing a lot about sort of like there's the album version or the EP version, and then there's the live version, and they're not really the same thing. It's like,
and songs are always so much shorter live than
they
they
are
are on the
studio.
Live songs are particular to where they're played.
Of course,
the venue, the day. Did you skip dinner? You know, there's all kinds of things that can affect a live performance as to how much Lucozade did you drink, Jade? I think so. Yeah, for the EP, we it was drums were obviously you can't really not play drums live, and then the guitars were both wearing headphones, and so it was sort of live but sort of not, and then you were kind of singing a bit. But you couldn't sing too loud, or it'd be picked up by all the mics on the drums.
Absolutely,
so it is a bit of an odd sort of an experience. But then it sounds great.
Did I do my vocals after?
Yeah.
Because I can't even remember.
Well, you can't sing the vocals at the time because you'll have a load of vocals bleeding through the drum mics. So you have to sort of sing it a bit.
And then there was like a couple of bits as a guitar.
Yeah, there's some redubs and stuff. There's quite a lot of. I mean, it's amazing what you can do now. There's quite a lot of. Well, this bit isn't very good, but we did play it a minute earlier in the song. Let's just take it from.
No, we didn't do that. We didn't do that. I don't think there was much of that. It was more on Demi on the first EP. I was like, I got the riff once, and I was like, yeah, I loved it.
Are there any, in terms of the way you like to do that record, like as live as possible and stuff like that, are there any particular bands recordings that really inspire you to do it that way?
Yeah, I think I've just like all my favourite bands growing up have been very kind of like a lot of them have been very DIY and I think I've learned a lot as well from what bands have done wrong in the studios, because for instance bands like Husker Du and Soul Asylum, who are two of my favourite bands, their recordings some of them are hard to listen to because of the way they were recorded. Like Husker Du, one of them's just very bassy, another one's very high pitch, and it's like if you'd met somewhere in the middle. And then the biggest disappointment of my life, I think, very early on in terms of getting an album, and it was a Soul Asylum album. I'm going to see them next week, actually. It's still around. But they were playing all the tracks live that were going to be on the next album, and I was like, oh, these are amazing. I had a bootleg tape from Camden Market. And I was like, oh, these are going to be so good. And then the album came, and I was like, where's the guitar? Like, the mix was just so disappointing, and it was the first time I understood about mixing, and like, I mean, I don't understand the thing about how you do it, but it was the first time I understood about, oh, okay, this is how it can sound, how it can go awful. And the songs were good, but the recordings just weren't there. And I think, like, our first EP, like, it's still better when I listen back to it. I forget, like, actually it's okay, but, I mean, they're not how we record them songs now. I think if we I don't really want to re-record them. I think maybe Supergirl if we were going to, but certainly we play them live a lot better now, so...
Well, they've evolved, and that's the case of any album that's even more than a year or two old. You see bands, they go on an album tour and it's already different, and that's because they recorded it a long time ago and they're already like tweaking it. In terms of how albums sound, I've got a lot of time for both approaches. I think with Dinky it wanted to sound a bit more raw, but equally you want to take advantage of all the stuff in the studio, all the effects, all the compressors, all the things that make it, I don't want to say nicer to listen to because that's not the right word, but at the same time I also like, say there's some metal bands where it's overproduced to the moon, and I actually quite like that as well. And it's never going to sound like that live, but you don't think it is. Like, you accept that this has been made as a piece of art that is very studio driven, right? But Dinky was probably never going to be like that. There's only one moment I can think of because there's an extra guitar that we're not going to be able to replicate live.
Yeah, I'm not playing that guitar.
Well, it's more because there's two guitars, though, because you can't play.
Well, no, it's more because I can't play. I can't play lead, which is why, like, it's something I really like about a band is that Aria plays the leads on their bass.
Yes, yeah.
Which I think is quite rare, and I think it really works for us because I'm not a lead guitar player at all. Like, I can come
lead bass, tell your friends. Yeah, really cool.
Exactly.
So let's play another one of your tracks now. What did you want to go with?
Let's go with Keanu. So, like, it's the second track on the EP anyway, it makes sense. But yeah, it's this song's called Keanu Reeves. So if you're out there listening, Keanu, this is for you. I am currently single.
He tunes in, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if he listens live, but he could download it from the website.
Yes. So we have it's a true story. I have a mutual friend of his drummer in his band Dogstar. And they said they're going to send the link for the EP to the drummer from Dogstar, so there is a chance Keanu Reeves
might filter his way through.
Yes, and
I was just going to say, we've been saying about this song has an Aria lead solo in it,
cool.
So keep an ear out for that because
that was the one.
It's really good. It pops out of the mix, and I think sometimes I genuinely think if you didn't know it was a bass, you might not think it was.
Yeah. And that was the one that caused the moments in the studio, but we got a great sounder about it in the end. and to be honest, live as well, like because Aria's got, I have one pedal, which is actually Chris's.
Mine, yeah.
they keep trying to thrust more pedals on me, and I'm
trying to soft launch some chorus or a bit of flange, and you're like,
the flange is just like no. And it's like I get overexcited on stage and stuff, and like blinking lights at the bottom and just stamping my foot. I'm just like, oh god. And I the sound, I quite like that simple sort of sound from a Telecaster, which but Aria has this whole bank, and they just bring a new pedal to practice.
There's a new toy, yeah.
And to be honest, in the practice room and then live, I don't mind. Probably because I'm not hearing it as much anyway, but I think it was just that one time in the studio I was like, ooh,
something happened. We'll never know what. This is the outcome.
But the tune is amazing, and it ended up like really good. And I think you introduced the bridgey bit, didn't you? Like suggested let's do the stops and stuff.
Yeah, so everyone loves a bit of stops.
Yeah, I've always loved being a big fan of stops. Yeah. So this is Keanu Reeves, and if you're listening, Keanu, it's not really about Keanu Reeves, but it can be if he wants it to be.
wishing you were someone else. Not waste time wishing you were someone else.
It's a really cool track.
Thank you.
We're going to talk about next is like what you've got, I guess, coming up in the near future, and I guess, off hands of you can tell us.
Yeah, so the night of the EP launch on Friday the 31st of January, we are at our spiritual home, The Globe, for an EP launch. Super excited for that. We've got like 2 amazing support bands in Social Youth Cult and Iron Petals. That's something that's kind of like very in the DIY punk ethic to me. Those are 2 bands who've put us on before, and it's like if bands put us on, we return the favour, and then we hope like it works the other way around and stuff. I think that's how scenes are created.
That's how scenes build.
Yeah,
absolutely.
and Social Youth Cult have put us on a couple of times, haven't they? And they're amazing. Every time I see them, like
electric show,
yeah, so good, and like pretty young as well. And like I am pals are like I think it will be their 3rd show, so we played their 2nd show with them at Liverfiend, and it was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like I've known Glenn for a while, and he just got in touch. It was like, oh, we want to put on a gig, and yeah, it was like we played Liverfiend, and second gig I was like, that's scary. That's scary. Like the singer's vocals are just like incredible. So we've got like 2 perfect supports, I think, there. The next, we've got about 7 shows lined up so far for this year, none of which are announced yet, which is frustrating at the moment. Secret shows, they will be announced, but they're not sort of put on by us, so we have to leave the announcements to them. I can say that we are playing a festival in April. I am super excited. We just found out the other day that we're playing Edinburgh in October, so that's the first time we're actually playing.
Leaving the country.
Yeah, we're going. we're packing our tote
international.
bags. We're packing our tote bags and going on tour for the night. So yeah, I'm super excited about that, and I love Scotland anyway. So it's like it's just a. Yeah. I was about to get political. Don't get political, John.
Yep.
So yeah, but then with the next confirmed one, big announcement is a festival that I'm putting on because I don't have enough stress in my life, called Transstock, and it's not been announced yet. We're going to announce it fully after the EP is launched, because I realised trying to promote 2 things will just be the end of me. But I can say that we've got Gaydar headlining it, so yes, that was a big moment to get them headlining, because they're an amazing band, and it's basically an all trans music festival, trans and non-binary. There's 10 acts. I'm opening it with a solo slot before anybody will probably get there, and Dinky are going to be last on, apart from Gaydar, so penultimate band. But yeah, I've got literally all the money is going to go to B Trans Support, the local trans support group, and there's artists coming from, I've got an artist coming from Glasgow, there's an artist coming from Chester, and all for no payment as well, because we wanted to maximise the proceeds. And it's something I hope to grow if it's a success, so I want to make it bigger each year. I've had a lot of personal issues going on the last few months, so it kind of hasn't, it's been, I'm not where I would have liked it to be. I would like it to be bigger, but I think see how this one goes and then expand on it next year and stuff. And there's a poster currently being designed for it, so super exciting. So we're playing that, and that's on Saturday the 15th of March. I was trying to get as close to Trans Visibility Day as possible, and I think at the moment with what's going on in America, which always affects what goes on in the rest of the world, especially our little country, which is a little landing craft for America.
And dangerously close to that direction.
Yes, and I Keir Starmer's I have no faith in that man. He just seems to be a bit of a coward, so I can see him following. So at the moment, I think it's a really important time to get this kind of get messages across and bring people together and try and raise money for a really good cause. Because B Support Group is a group that really helped me through early transition and stuff. I remember going there in jeans and a t-shirt, probably about a year before I came out, and just being the most nervous person. It took about like 3 months, I think, to actually get in the building. And people were lovely, and I've made so many friends through like them and like seeing people at like different events and stuff. So hopefully try and bring the community together a bit. So Saturday 15th of March, and we'll be announcing that. It should be on the 3rd of February. Tickets will go live.
Cool. Oh, that's like next weekend. That's quite close.
I'm going to be on a bus to Scarborough with my mum when it gets released. So I'm going to have to hope my phone works.
Okay. Do you want to go for the track?
Yeah. So shall we go out of order just to mess with it a little bit? Shall we play? Yeah, I went a little bit political. Let's play Eaton Burning. This has a little swear in it, but this is the radio edit. This song is just a punk song. It's like, there was a band I loved called the Cherry Reds growing up in New Cross, and my old band when I was younger played a couple of shows with them. And when I heard Eaton's Burning when we played it, and then like I listened to it, I was like, oh my god, this sounds like the Cherry Reds, which I was super excited about. It's a simple punk song. Not much.
They don't care about you or me. They only care about their money. They crave power and control. They've no compassion and they've no soul. I wanna watch Eton burning. No more privilege of elitist rats. I wanna watch Eton burning. No more words and no more rats. Sexist, misogynist, transphobic, homophobic, racist, hypocrites, collateral damage in a egocentric world, right-wing agenda and the lives of their soul. I wanna watch Eton burning, no more privilege and elitist rats. I wanna watch Eton burning, no more words and no more rats. Now we show the frishy, there'll be another close behind. Boris, Rees and Cameron, there is plenty of their kind. Taxes for the rich and it's jobs for the boys. Media are silent and it's time to make some noise. I wanna watch Eton burning, no more privilege and elitist rats. I wanna watch Eton burning, no more words and no more rats. I wanna watch Eton burning, no more privilege and elitist rats. I wanna watch Eton burning, no more words and no more rats.
There you go. That is actually like a very, very old school punk type track.
Yeah, I should say that wasn't originally going to go on the EP, but we realised the song was getting very dated by the amount of times the Prime Minister changed it in the course of about 6 months. So we had to update the lyrics every time we went to practice, and I was like, we better put this out. So yeah.
So something I'm going to do next is like, I mean, you'll know, but you've been on this show a few times, so you know, I like to do a feature where I like to, when I have like bands guests on, like on the local music, so I like to find out who they like to listen to, kind of thing. So I guess this next section is, well, it's not a guess, I know that section is that. I'm going to ask you to like tell me some like other like, it doesn't necessarily have to be that local, but that's like grassroots emerging type bands that that you think I should play some tracks on. So
cool. Yeah, I mean, me and Chris are both going to see our friends band Detroit Tourist Board tonight at the Cluny, so get along to that if you're
still tickets left, I think.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good show.
Amateur Ornithologists are playing as well. They are amazing. They're a lovely band. I've known Patrick. I've known Patrick longer than anybody in our little group, actually, because he used to play open mics. I think there's an open mic in Jarrah. And I just hear American accents, and I'm like, I need to talk to that person. so like became friends with Patrick, and then he sort of brought me to the our little group that we had during lockdown, where we played open mics online and stuff, which Chris ran with his wife. So I think that was pretty much it. Became a group therapy session, really, rather than a sort of closed mic night. But we'd write songs for each other. We write a song each week and stuff, or bring covers and things, and it got us through those 2 years. So Patrick invited me into that, so thanks to him. So I might not have known Chris probably without that. So Detroit tourist boat.
The tallest man of all.
The tallest
man of all.
Yes.
Man of all,
Yeah.
Banger.
So there you go. That was the tallest men of all from Detroit Tourist Board. We should mention. Did you mention about a gig tonight?
Yes, they're playing the Cleany 2 tonight
Cleany
with
2
amateur
gonna be a
ornithologist,
great show.
Bal Skies, and Nikki Gray's Menagerie.
Nikki Bray's Menagerie. So
Yes.
on tour from Leeds. It's very exciting. They're always a nice show. Always really feel good. Make you think, make you cry, make you drink beer. All the good things.
Nikki,
it's a good gig.
Nikki has some really cool hats.
She does. I don't know if she'll bring the hat.
Well, it's thingy tomorrow.
She came on the train.
The private mic thing tomorrow, which can't make some of the batch. But yes, that's. I'm just going to point out, by the way, on the desk here we have an unofficial Taylor Swift crochet set.
It's a must for every radio.
It is. We are a very rock and roll band. Aria, I think today is doing Warhammer, or that might be last week in a tournament. So Aria paints little Warhammer figures. Chris is in a choir and does crochet. I make Lego, so we're really living it up, the rock and roll lifestyle. so yes, I was going to get my mum to make me this. It wasn't a Taylor Swift one, so I was going to get her to amend it so it looked a bit more like me, with a pink dress. I amended quite a lot from Taylor Swift actually, but it's quite basic features. So Chris is going to take on that project.
I do what I can.
When we played Raise Up Fest, we were there early because Chris's band was on first, and then we had to wait for us to play. So Chris was just sat with his crochet.
Yeah, I was crocheting a beard. Yeah.
Do you maybe want to talk about you with a band?
Snow Leopards, of course.
That's right.
So like their proverbial namesake, they're rarer to see in the natural environment. It's a very different style to Dinky. The songwriting falls mostly between me and Andy, our singer. I'm the drummer in that band as well, but I do a lot more singing. So I do lead singing in that band. So it's different vibe. It's very fun, and it's a different kind of music. But that's with our friends Katie and my wife, who I'm very good friends with. And so she's on bass and Katie plays keys. But there's sort of various commitments that make, I think, being a sort of an adult and having life going on, it's just hard to get everyone together. But when we do, it's a real pleasure. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled. Maybe coming sometime soon. Who knows?
If you've seen our shows, actually, if you've been a regular at Dinky shows, actually, I think I know all the regulars at Dinky shows. And then we've played with Snow Leopards a few times. We always say right, do you want to support us and stuff at this gig or whatever? And then they suddenly announced a 3-day tour, and I was like, okay, they don't need our help anymore.
We had one time when we played 2 places within 6 months. It was a big time. We wiped out. We're still recovering from that.
It's quite funny as well because we've had gigs where Chris has played for half an hour with Snow Leopards and then an hour and a half with us or something.
Yeah, usually after a 12-hour shift.
Yeah. Chris is the only one in our band with a career. So that's nice.
It's the crochet.
The crochet. He's an official crocheter. What does that pay these days? I can't talk.
So you're gonna choose a second band now.
Yes, it seems fitting to go with Social Youth Cult because they are playing with us next week, and they are good friends of ours. Are you playing Black?
Black.
Yeah, this song's an absolute banger. I think like the last time we played with them, I was like, I think this is my new favourite song now. Oh, I think this is my new favourite song now. Every song in the set, and then they played Black Lipstick, and I was like, yeah, no, this is still my favourite.
This is still your favourite.
I think their aim is generally to go a bit darker. They're more sort of Bauhaus,
gothic,
and it's very gothic, but it's also got that crossover. It's like, you know, the great melody but incredible live as well. I was super looking forward to
really good fun. Really good fun.
Yeah.
Very sorry.
Priorities.
So really cool track, and as you say, they can also catch the band on Friday EP Lounge, which is really cool.
Yeah.
So you got one more choice?
Yeah, so I'm going to go with they're not local, I'm afraid, so sorry to the scene or something. But I went to see Martha, who I love, again at Pop Rocks the other week, and this band blew me away. They're called Nervous, Nervus, Nervous without the O. They're from Watford, Rock City, and yeah, they just kind of blew me away. And I think this is the song that, because I bought 2 albums and then like 2 of their CDs, but they didn't have the CD of the song that I really, really like live. But I think this is it. I think so. I can't really hear it here anyway. So just pretend it is. I'm sure it'll be amazing anyway, because they were just like, you know, when you go to see like bands, and I think when I've seen like over 1,000 gigs, like well over 1,000. I have a very anal spreadsheet because that's what I do, and not anal spreadsheets.
No, you're not.
Oops. It's not swearing. So yes, they you kind of go to gigs, and sometimes you like, you know, like a lot of people don't go for the support bands. I've always been the person who does go for support bands, partly because like, you know, we're a support band often and stuff, and like every band has to make a start and you get to discover new bands. And it was a freezing cold day, and I was like, nope, I'm gonna go on my first gig of the year, and they blew me away, and I was just like, I mean, Martha are amazing, always are, but Nervous were just like, wow, new band, yay, new favourite band, buy CDs, buy t-shirts.
Cool. So this is Nervous with Joy.
Yeah.
There you go. So you think that was the track you really like live?
I can't hear it though. Yeah, so I think it might be, but I'm sure it's really good anyway, because the 2 albums are really good that I got.
So now we've done like that section. We're going to move back on to Dinky Bossetti specifically, and what I wanted to ask you about next. I usually do this with a little intro, like you can take this different ways, but you've done this section before, so you know how you could take it. So the question is going to be, like, what are your longer term ambitions for the band?
Yeah, I should listen to the last one we did and see what my longer term ambitions were there, and see if we've actually achieved any of them in a couple of years.
Supposed to go on the tour, and I'm sure you said go on like a tour and sleep on sofas.
Yeah, sleep on sofas, which we're going to be doing in Edinburgh.
There you go. I mean,
Chris,
you can always
doesn't
sleep,
seem thrilled.
You can always sleep on your own sofa. Like nothing's ever stopping you doing that.
Exactly. Well, in Edinburgh there is.
No. It's your own sofa.
It's literally living the DIY.
You go back to your own bed.
It's living the DIY punk tree. It was one of my favourite bands, especially one of the biggest influences for me on Dinky Bossetti is a band called Babes in Toyland. And I think it's Boyland because they have a song Babes in Boyland. And a band called Babes in Toyland, and the drummer Laurie Barbero, who's just one of the old-time like heroes of the American indie music scene. And she had this big house in Minneapolis, and literally every band who was worth anything has slept on her floor at some point. So they all used to go through, and I've met her a few times, and it's like it was actually 4 years in between the first time and the second time, and she remembered me and like knew my name, and thought it's changed now, but and that blew me away. I mean, this is somebody who had REM sleeping on her floor, and she like remembered my name, which is just. And she was working as a waitress, and it was just like, you should be like the queen of something.
It's really hard. It's really hard to get rid of REM once they're in and on your floor. You have to get a man in.
I don't want rid of REM. I said to somebody posted an REM song the other day, and I was like, do you know what? The world was a much nicer place when REM were around. When Michael Stipe was around, even when the last couple of albums weren't so good, they still had amazing songs on them, but they weren't great albums. They're like, just knowing Michael Stipe was around. Michael Stipe wouldn't be putting up with Donald Trump and Elon Musk. I'm going to say that right now. He'd have them out. Hopefully he will. They'll do something.
I feel that sorry, I'm going to take a different track now.
Keeping Jade away from politics.
Yeah, exactly. The Anglo-American geopolitics,
and we're promoting REM on a Grassroots radio show as well.
Yeah, no one's ever heard of them. But yeah, I think there'll be inevitably this. There's quite a snowballing of songs. One of the things that's really nice being in Dinky Bossetti is there always seems to be a new song on the way, and that's because Jade writes a lot. So most rehearsals there'll be an idea for something new or recycling something else. So there's sort of perpetual moving forward, and then we got this new one, that's a banger, and then either it goes into the canon of stuff that we want to keep, or maybe not so much. But I think an album is probably on the cards at some point, because we've collected a few things that didn't make it onto the EP that and there's just something about making an album, even in an age when albums are arguably redundant. There is something about making an album, because it's just nice. It's a cohesive thing.
I don't remember the last time anybody came on the show. Lots of EPs, singles, but the last time somebody came and said I've got a new album, I can't even remember the last time they used done that.
I'd be quite disappointed. Of singles, isn't it? And I don't blame any artists for that, but I think there is something nice, and lots of bands I like still release albums that are very coherent.
Absolutely, yeah.
And artists at the moment, I'd probably listen to more artists than bands, or John Smith, the tallest man on earth, so they're but they will bring something which has an overarching theme and is meant to be listened to probably in a certain order and all that sort of stuff.
I love the track listing. Even for the EP, it was like I think I changed it 3 times and stuff.
Thought's gone into it. It's not just shuffles on a playlist.
2 of the songs sounded too similar.
Yes, that was very important to not put them next to each other. You always say that, and then they're always next to each other on the set list, and we go, oh dear.
I know. We're a punk band, they can only sound so different. But yeah, I mean, for instance, like Eaten Burning was, it was getting dated, but also I was like, if we do an album, this probably wouldn't make it, and it was too good a song to leave off. So it was, we wrote I brought Sick of Myself to the studio, I think 2 weeks before we went to the practice rooms, a few weeks before we went to the studio. I was like, we need to record this, but it's like,
great, it's not ready.
Yeah,
I think
like
the Eaten Burning also, it was practicalities, so we had not much time left. Eaten Burning is not a long song. So there was like, well, let's just lay it down, and if it works, it works, and if it doesn't, it didn't take very long to try.
Yeah.
And so that was something of the just organic nature of what time we had.
Yeah.
Because we wouldn't have just put out another song. Because it wasn't short enough, so it was only ever going to be Eaten Burning, and thankfully it did work out.
Yeah, I think on my phone I have I would have, my first answer would be an album as well at some point, and whether it's hopefully we'll be able to make a start this year or something. Like I said, I've got some personal issues going on, which is kind of taking a priority, but it's I have a track listing on my phone saved with a really good album, which I think
is it one of ours?
Oh yes, which I think would be a really good album.
That's nice.
So we have, a lot of the songs we're playing live anyway, aren't we? So like Babes in Boyland and Sick of Myself and stuff like that. So
it's been quite a fast not the right word. The short time between certainly me joining the band and where we are now. Was it 2 years?
Yeah.
Or something? And I don't know how many songs we got, but it's a lot. It's a lot. And so there is that like, oh yeah, well that's just one of the ones we always play, and that's actually really nice. And there's the sets that we were playing were like, well, we'd always open with this and we'd always end with that, and now that's different.
Yeah,
that's
really
we don't
difficult.
only have 5 songs.
Yeah.
But actually we have so many songs that you should not, apart from that one time you tried, put them all in one set list. That was a long gig. That was so
I think we've got 16 songs next week, to be honest. But like, yeah,
that's still not all that songs.
We did play an hour and 20, it was just like, right, let's save these, because I think sometimes like you don't know if a song's going to work until you play it live.
Sure.
We've got a couple of, there's a song called Sex and Men, which is like, I think that song's going to be live different every time we play it live.
Yeah, I know how it's going to go. It's always an experience.
Yeah. I think like one of the funny thing, it's getting difficult to compile a set list and stuff, especially for like support slots, because it's like you get half an hour, 7 songs, and I have a tendency to waffle on stage like I do.
You have to put in built-in time, contingency time. But I think there is something. I think there is a creativity driven by having a limited amount of space and time. I think if you just have an open box where it's like you can put in anything you want, then often what you get is far too inflated
Quantity
and just
quality.
goes forever and ever. But if someone's like, okay, you have to play 5, they have to work together, they have to be for people who may have not heard you and people who have heard you. Like, it's a challenge.
Yeah.
I think it's fun. Obviously, you'd love to play 2 hours every time. So.
Oh yeah, every night. We've never done we've done one cover. Monster Mash for our Halloween show.
Oh yeah, I did. Does that even count?
And
maybe it does.
It was a
Halloween
cover.
song.
How did it not count? Because I was thinking, let's do this as a cover, and then it's like, and then I'll write a new song. It's like, I want to play that. So
it seems like a wasted slot, really.
Yeah.
It's not, doing covers is fine, but it would feel like, but we could have put one of our own songs in there, right?
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Yeah.
So we're going to have another one of your songs right now.
Yeah. Shall we play Fake It?
Fake It. Here we go.
Two frauds together, finding their truth. Two homes on fire and flames since their youth. Lies live in whispers, but truths always shout. Lives find their meanings when they come out. We know that it won't last, 'cause nothing ever lasts. But I wanna fake it with you. Ooh, I wanna fake it with you. Yeah, I wanna fake it with you. There's no one I'd rather fake it with than you. Some things come along when the least expected. It's not part of your plan, but don't you reject it. Some shits come in when you're stood at the taxi rack. Some hearts are saved on a springtime one night stand, and we know that it won't last. 'Cause nothing ever lasts. But I wanna fake it with you. Oh, I wanna fake it with you. Yeah, I wanna fake it with you. There's no one I'd rather fake it with than you. There's not one soul who knows what the hell they're doing. We're all making it up each day as we go along. I love you today and I'll hate you tomorrow. I know that I'm right and I'm damn sure I'm wrong. And we know that it won't last, 'cause nothing ever lasts. But I wanna fake it with you. Ooh, I wanna fake it with you. Yeah, I wanna fake it with you. There's no one
So that's it. That's another really cool track, which you'll be here with the rest of the EP in full. Is it actually Friday?
Yes, it's out Friday. It's on all rubbish streaming sites. It's available on Bandcamp. We have a very DIY band, so I spent the last month or so making CDs for people who still want CDs, with all the artwork and stuff. We're going to have cassette tapes.
Yeah,
I've got to record the EP 20 times over the next week onto cassette tapes, which is fine because I like listening to it. It's great. But I might be a little bit biased. Yes. And we have USB sticks, we've got stickers, we've got t-shirts.
We think we've got t-shirts.
We think we've got t-shirts.
I think we have t-shirts.
We have one t-shirt.
We have one t-shirt. I could rent it out for like £1 a minute.
We have stickers, we have business cards. Maybe for the album we'll have crochet.
It's not impossible. I wanted to do hats, but it turns out you can't just knock one up in like 20 minutes. And I tried very hard. But no.
Can I just say as well, Fake It was written about, and it's dedicated to my human Stuart, who is at work today, and he said he'd be listening.
Hi, human Stuart.
Hi, human Stuart. He's my human, Stuart. So yeah.
So we went to this. Well, in this section of the show, I really handed over to you to talk about anything that you wanted to talk about, but I haven't asked you or given you that opportunity, so that's just really up to you. What you want to talk about now?
I want to thank my bandmates, to be honest, because like I want to thank Chris because I didn't know what we were gonna do when our old drummer left, because it was kind of clear they didn't want to play live, and me and Ara kind of wanted to continue, and we kind of looked upon Chris. Really, it was just. I think it was Katie who suggested asking, because I never thought, I was like, Chris's music's a lot different to ours, so it's but he's made us such a band, and it's been so much fun over the last couple of years, and hopefully it'll just continue as long as possible. So and to Ari as well, like it's kind of the thing I was talking about that solo, and it's one of the things where in practice I always feel like I don't compliment my bandmates enough, because
I was going to say that
you only kind of like, it's, if it works it doesn't sort of register. It's kind of like, yes, that works, and you don't really think to say, oh, I did try and make a point of saying, yeah, that's a really good solo, that's a really good like drum bit or something like that. But it's when I feel like I criticize more, because it's like you hear what's not right. Yeah. And then it's like, oh, that wasn't good, or like I didn't like that, or I didn't like that tone. And it's generally not what someone's playing; it's generally the tone, or it's generally a pedal or something. That's kind of. But yeah, like without my band the last couple of years, and with what I'm going through at the minute with my mum and stuff like that, it's kind of a escape. I mean, it's more than an escape, but it's kind of something to being able to like channel my kind of energies into like getting this EP and ready and stuff like that has been quite important for me personally, so thanks to my bandmates.
Very welcome. Yeah, I mean, I'd second that. Playing with Dinky isn't what I would have normally done, but not because I have any particular dislike of that genre. I just probably wouldn't have even occurred to me to really listen to it, but it's stretched me a lot, because, and this is a secret, when I started playing for Dinky Bossetti, I wasn't very good at the drums. I wasn't very good at the drums. No, I mean, I was okay, but I wasn't very good, and it's made me become a lot better, and have to, there's nowhere to hide, I suppose, in a band with 3 people, so yeah, and using the drums to play in a more interesting way. And I think Aria does the same. They're writing such good stuff, and I think you're right, you just kind of go, well, of course this is great, like you don't even sometimes always clock that, there's a lot of effort gone into making it great, but Aria will almost instantly pick the right rhythms, the right register of the bass to make it good, and then they're always also trying to push it, like, well, can I do something fun, can I do something more interesting, can I do something I don't normally do? And I understand it. I mean, bass players have been relegated to root notes and quavers, and there is a place for those. There really is a place for those. But Ari's always wants to do something more. And rehearsals are fun. Rehearsals are fun. You have a fun time.
Yeah, we I think as well as, I mean, Aria's influences are very metal, it's very heavy. So it's kind of like, I mean, there was one song that I brought to practice, so it's just like, yeah, okay, we're not doing this. So it's like, okay, that's going on my solo album. It was just a point blank refusal. No, this is boring to play, I'm not playing.
But there's sort of respect there, which is like, I don't think this is what my idea of the band is.
Yeah, and it's fair. Like, there's got to be that.
Everyone has to buy in to thinking this works for us all.
Yeah, that's how band works. There's got to be compromise there, and like coming together for what's best of the band and stuff. I mean, like, I'm kind of lucky in that. I mean, Chris is the same. Chris has his Snow Leopards. I've got my solo stuff, like currently recording an album. Yay! Also a Harbour Master. So if a song, like, I don't write songs for Dinky and write songs for solo. I just write songs, and then sometimes I'll bring songs to Dinky and say, okay, does this work? We'll try it. It usually works. Sometimes it doesn't, and it's like, okay, I'll do it on my solo stuff. So. I think it's nice, like, a lot of bands kind of like will just jam in studios one day and say what they come up with. I think it would be nice to do that, like, the occasional time. I think we've come up with different parts to songs, but I generally it's like usually bringing a sort of full song.
It's a safe space, you can jam.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a jammer, but when people say, oh, do you want to jam, I'm like, oh,
I don't necessarily, I mean, it usually means 12-bar blues, doesn't it? I don't sort of mind jamming, but you have to have at least an idea.
Oh, yeah.
You have to bring something.
Yeah.
Essentially, that is what we do when we work up a song, is you come and then we go, okay, well, how do we make that not more interesting, but how do we make it more interesting to listen to?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd say rehearsals, they leave me net positive, net with energy.
Oh yeah.
Right? And I think the risk with something like making music can be that actually you're a bit drained afterwards, but that's not the case with Dinky.
I think what's quite funny is that, like, for the video shoot, so we shot the video, like, for What About You? Check out.
I was quite drained after that.
So we shot it at First Avenue where we practice, and it was only like last Monday or something, Monday before, and I actually did makeup and like made an effort and stuff, wore a dress for band practice, which is something I hadn't really done since the early days, because when the band started I wasn't out yet, so it's kind of my sort of chance. It was my sort of being able to be myself in the studio, in the practice studio, which has like meant a hell of a lot of that time. So I'd like wear my like nicest outfits, do all my makeup. And then then it gets to the point where I'm just like, the last couple of years just rocking up in a pair of leggings and a t-shirt and like hair sticking up everywhere. So it was kind of funny and nice, but it was also a nice reminder of what it used to be like when we first started, and being before I was out, and it was a really difficult sort of time, and trying to and that band gave me that space to be able to. It was the safe space.
Yeah.
And those safe spaces are increasingly rare these days, especially on social media, which is really difficult. But yeah, I go on with this political rant, couldn't I, right now? But I'll leave it off. You'll hear that.
Tune in for.
You'll hear that next week. Come to the gig on Friday, or I'll say.
There's usually a bit of political there.
There's usually something I'll say which could get us cancelled, doesn't it? Like that's
so I think. So just to round up the interview and stuff like that, I think should we play one more of your tracks?
Yeah. So let's go with Dead-Eyed Star.
Can I just say this is my pride of the album, which was,
is it?
Yeah, because of the guitar solo. So that's the drummer. It's called the fun. We said we just need something to go in here, and these both guitar solos in this are one take, and I'm so proud of that.
It was
one take, no rehearsal. Just sat down and said, "I wonder what'll sound good," and it sounds cool.
I've credited it on the EP as well. I've put lead guitar. And it's
drums
like,
and lead
if
guitar.
I leave that off, people are going to think I played that lead, and I can't take credit. As I've said, I cannot play a lead guitar to save my life. So yeah, Dead-Eyed Star is basically a song about like misogyny. It's I don't think it's quite I think it says it self actually. I don't really think I need to say it. It's a fun one. It's kind of we usually obviously end with Demi, but I think this is a kind of sort of potential closer and stuff.
It's quite an angry song. It's for good reason. But it's more bitey perhaps than some of the ones we do.
Yeah, it's kind of a I mean, I love a band like Gaydar and stuff where it's like rage, like their rage is incredible. I don't know if the anger in me to sustain that kind of thing. I certainly don't have the voice to be able to sustain like screaming and shouting a lot, but I've always been very into melody as well, of pop music as well as punk and rock and roll and different stuff. And so there's always that element. It's your typical verse chorus verse as well, isn't it?
It's a classic. It's a classic and a breakdown.
And a great guitar solo.
I hear there's a guitar solo. I don't know who played it, but if I played that guy.
So yes, please come to our show next Friday.
Yeah, we'd love to see you.
The 31st of January. Please come along. We've got loads of merch. We've got 2 amazing support bands.
Upstairs at the Globe.
It's an inclusive space. It's an accessible space, which are 2 things that are very important to us. There is a lift and stuff. So, and any intolerance, any transphobia, misogyny, any racism, ableism, homophobia will not be tolerated. Any Tories or Republicans are not welcome. And I did all that without swearing. Or me.
So here we go.
He fixes me with a dada stare. He's got opinions and he thinks I care. 4 or 5 times he looks, but I haven't changed. He's the one that thinks that I look strange. There's no love or passion in his eyes. Might be lust, but it's the hurting kind. Wonder what his mother would think about the thoughts he has of doing me in. Alpha male, alpha male. You're so used to God in your own way. Alpha male, alpha male. As a lion dies the daily meal. Alpha male, alpha male. You got nothing that I wanna say. Alpha male, alpha male. Did I say I can't let right past me? He fixes her with a dot style. He's all alone with the computer glass. Sees every girl's a slut and a whore. Confuse reality with fantasy porn. There's no respect or feeling in his eyes. She's just a piece of me, tits, ass and thighs. His fantasies would make his mother sick. His whole world revolves around his brain. Alpha male, alpha male. You're so used to God in your own way. Alpha male, alpha male. As a lion, that's daily mail. Alpha male, alpha male. Got nothing that I wanna say. Alpha male, alpha male. Dad, I said, can the rap past me? Alpha male. You're so used to God in your own way. Alpha male, alpha male. As in lion, there's the Daily Mail. Alpha male, alpha male. You got nothing that I wanna see. Alpha male, alpha male. Dad, I say I can't let right past me. Alpha male, alpha male. You're so used to God in your own way. Alpha male, alpha male. As a lion, that's the Daily Mail. Alpha male,
So there you go, another great track. So do check out Dinky Bossetti's EP, which comes out on Friday.
Pink, White and Blue, it's out on Friday, yes.
And check out the come to the show as well.
Yeah, please do. And thanks for having us, Stephen.
Yeah,
really
good time.
And
talk about my music. Listen to some new tracks, is really cool and stuff like that as well. So Keisha, thank you for coming into.
Thank you very much. It's always a pleasure.
And enjoy your Saturday, everyone.
It's lovely to have you back on the airwaves. Because it was actually for quite fun because I did the last show.
The last show.
That was when he decided.
It was your fault.
I've had enough.
I decided before the show. It wasn't like on the show.
This is it.
I was kind of thinking it's a shame that we didn't do the first one back because then I could have sandwiched you. It would have been like the meeting, like the Saturn and Jade sandwich, which would have been lovely, wouldn't it?
Alright, well on that bombshell.
Anyway, yes, thank you for coming in. If you're listening, I'm still around for the next half hour. I've got some really cool tracks for the next half hour, starting with this fantastic track from Marginal Gains. This is Grammar School.